Cool. So, everybody who's in the thing, I've got a few viewers on there. Welcome again to The Ordinary View with hosts me, myself, Gaz, of JDC Fitness, and Lee of Average Hunter. Lee Hunter of Average Fitness. That's the pre-workout kicking in. You want to introduce yourself? Just give a quick rundown. I know we did that in the last episode, but we'll just do it for the first couple. Maybe it's making it all that goes on the top.
Yeah, makes sense. So, like Gaz says, my name's Lee, and it's my belief that fitness is for everybody, and it's the whole fitness and diet, weight loss industry is not geared towards the beginner, whereas it is very, very attainable for the average person. So, with that in mind, I've created a brand called Average Fitness, all based around making the information that should be common knowledge for everybody who wants it.
Yep, and that's basically the premise of what the Ordinary View is. I'm very similar morals, very similar outlook on fitness. My original slogan with JDC Fitness was fitness fun for everyone, making it fun and making it available for everybody, mixed classes and stuff. Lee, where can we find out about you personally and like your social media and stuff?
So, like I say, the brand that I kind of have in mind is called Average Fitness. So, YouTube channel, there's 30 odd videos on there now, all geared around workouts, hints, tips for the average person, and also have TikTok and Instagram accounts under the same name with the same message.
Yeah, cool. Same JDC Fitness or at Gaz JDC. At Gaz JDC. You'll find me on all of our social media. If you want to find me easier, literally just put find.jdcfitness.co.uk and you'll go to my link tree where it'll have links to everything that I do.
Oh,
with that being said, let's get on with the show. So today we're looking at starting out things you can do, little small changes that you can implement to make big results. Don't need to be killing yourself in the gym for hours and eating kale sandwiches for life on a lettuce bread just for you to make results. Fitness isn't about destroying yourself, it's about creating yourself. Oh, that should go on a t-shirt. That was so good.
I like that a lot.
Couldn't even introduce myself at the start, but damn, that was good.
I wonder if I can trademark that while you're too busy chatting.
Obviously, we are live on Facebook, so if you are watching and you are drop yourself in the chat, say hello, like and share it. It's all about getting our message out there. I've got a little towel on the screen, but to stop us from seeing myself in delay, but I can't say how many people are watching because I've got that towel on.
Just assume it's like 1 million and I'm sure it'll be fine.
That's exactly what's watching. That's how many people's watching. I'll take the bull by the horns then on this one. Starting out,
go for it.
With me doing the personal training, the first set of things, tiny little habits that I try to implement with my clients is initially first thing is water intake. Majority of people are dehydrated and don't know it. Like literally 2 to 4 liters of water a day. It sounds like a lot, but it's really, really not. People go, I can't drink that much water. And I'm like, well, you can drink double that in pints at the pub in 4 hours. So you can do it in a 12, 15, 16, 18 hour day. And the other thing I get is I don't like the taste of water.
Oh,
that is nonsense. Everybody likes the taste of water. You've just sensitized yourself to liking sodas and stuff. And if it's that bad, get some diluted orange.
Yeah.
Or diluted blackcurrant.
The way I look at that is like, listen, I don't particularly enjoy drinking water, right? And it is one of those things where you have to kind of make yourself do it because it's not enjoyable to force yourself to drink 4 liters of water a day, right? Especially if you're not used to it. But it's such a small price to pay for what the results are. Like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about making yourself healthier. Obviously, it's more on the agenda now than it ever has been because of the nature of the world for the past year, is, looking after your body so that A, you look better, B, you feel better, and C, if things, if shit hits the fan, then at least you're in a better physical state for when, things have gone wrong. And
exactly.
That's the reward. What's the input you need to have? Drink some more water. Like, it's not much to ask, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No. I keep meaning to, but I don't. Create the environment. I'm going to go on about environment loads to make it easier for yourself. And by environment, I don't mean like the place around you. I mean the environment that you are physically in. If you've got a 500 ml bottle, whatever it be, you will drink that and sit there and go, oh, I need to fill that up. You'll go in the kitchen, you'll forget to pick it up, you'll forget to fill it up, you'll come back and you're going, oh, I meant to fill that up. And this cycle will repeat itself. So that 500ml bottle is all you've drank. I carry around 2-litre jug with us most times. I've got one in the car and I've got one that I take with us in the gym. That alone will make me drink more. It's like when I smoke. If I had 20 tabs, I would smoke 20 tabs a day. If I bought a 200 sleeve, that 200 sleeve was gone in a week.
It's the same with anything, though. Like, it's the same with, like I work in a shop. You give people that change and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I've got no fivers. You give you £9 coins. And they always say, oh, it's all right, I'll spend the same and probably spend quicker. Because you've got that money jangling in your pocket. You're kind of like, it's just a subconscious thing,
So make it easier for yourself.
Make it easier for yourself,
It doesn't need to be as big as that. Like, a litre container that can come in shapes of like a shaker or the big jug that I've just shown there. And the more they fill, the more you'll go through. And the easier.
But even then, sorry, go ahead, mate.
No, I was going to say, one of the negative things like that people come back to is after a couple of days, or there's messages after a day or two, and they're like, I'm paying like a racehorse.
Yeah.
You are paying like a racehorse, and this is going to go tie straight into the results because your body's getting rid of the old water that it's got. But sooner or later, your body's going to hit homeostasis. It's going to hit that balance where it'll regulate itself, adapting to that.
Yeah.
It happens in all the trick behind the water trick is something that happens massively in like diet clubs and stuff. I'm not going to drop myself too low to go into this one, but at any time when you're dehydrated, you can be carrying up to 8 to 10 pounds of water weight. Water weight and water retention is because you haven't got enough water in your system. So your body needs water to function, to do its body's processes. It'll hold on, you'll get that little bloat. But if you drink and you flood the system, you're going to get rid of that and you'll get to a proper hydration level. And that's where loads of these diet places, they'll spin you on for an hour and a half story time, telling you what's good and what's not and what's free. And then at the end, they'll go, drink 2 litres of water for the next week. And every Karen on the planet goes, yes, I've lost 9 pounds this week. No, you didn't. Yeah. You shifted water weight, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And then they chase that.
And that's great.
That's for another one.
But again, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, this is getting back to the original reason we started this podcast to begin with. It's not to say that what this company is saying is wrong. It's the way it's packaged. You're overcomplicating the issue. Drink more water, you will lose a little bit of weight. And that's fine. But that's not all. But like, why not say that? I don't understand why it needs to be like hidden in the small print. Like, oh, by the way, this is a really easy way to lose like half a stone. Do you know what I mean?
That goes into that banana video that just absolutely blew up on TikTok. You can eat one whole banana as many times as you want for free. Or if you mash it, it's in trouble. That's higher calories. And the reasoning behind it, once they had all had that bit sayers and all had different singing from the different hymn pages, hymn books, was you're more likely to consume more if it's mashed, if you've blended it, which of course, but just tell people that. I wouldn't stick four bananas in a smoothie, Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other,
how often do you see that? Do you know what I mean? How often do you see where like, and fine, that again, like there's nothing wrong with that theory of like, oh, you're more like, it's the same with intermittent fasting. They go on as if it's some miracle. And it's like, if you eat, I know this from myself, right? Just forget everything that you see in the outside world. I know if I eat my breakfast before I take Louise to work, I'm going to want my dinner at 11 o'clock. If I wait until after I've taken her to work, I'll wait until 1 o'clock to have my dinner because, that makes perfect sense. So just say that then. If you want to lose a little bit of weight, if you want to try and eat fewer calories, try it in your breakfast a little bit later. What's wrong with saying that? But it's packaged as some, genius idea.
That's the fitness world monetizing skipping a meal. Like, my God, how did we manage that? For those that don't know, intermittent fasting is where you go a long period of time without food, usually the period of 9 o'clock at night till 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sorry. You're sleeping most of that time. And then you've got an eating window, which is like your 1 till 8, whatever the thing is. I'm not even spinning right numbers. Yeah, where you can eat, but that's usually the busiest time of the day where you're not going to be sitting consuming tons of calorie. Yeah, it was good for me, to be honest. Intermittent fasting was ideal because it fit I don't usually eat breakfast anyway. The one time that I couldn't adhere to it was if I was with the family. Yeah, like the kids want to eat at 12 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, gotta wait till 1.
yeah. Kids aren't going to be like following intermittent fasting. Really,
exactly. Not when they start tearing Weatherspoons apart, waiting for the 10 o'clock to hit 1 o'clock.
Well, this is the thing, like put myself in the position of, you're just starting out, you're looking everywhere you can, because that's the problem with the internet is information's out there, for you to go and get it, but how do you decipher which is actually true, which is actually bullshit? And if you're just starting out, you know, you think, well, lots of these famous people are doing this particular diet, or lots of these famous people are saying this is important, or you're not supposed to eat blueberries, or you're not supposed this, that, and the other. Why would you question that? Because everything sounds that complicated. So let's just forget all that. Let's just start with the basics. Water, and then try and, you know, let's assume you're starting to lose some weight. You're looking to lose some weight. Eat fewer calories. And if that means intermittent fasting, fine. If that means staying away from takeaways, fine. If you feel like you don't have to do that, or you don't want to do that, then that's also fine. But
yeah,
you just play around until you get it right, you know? It doesn't need to be as complicated. Simple as that.
Nah, exactly. So step 1, water intake, 2 to 4 liters a day. Easy. Get a big jug, fill it with water, fill it back up with water. You can get them jugs where it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and it's got markers on there. Totally fun and thing. It's just something interesting.
It's a bit gimmicky, but it'll work for some people, you know. The way I've done it, I'll be honest, is I have bottles like this, 500ml bottles lying around. And what I generally do is I'll have one in the freezer with a little bit of like water in it to freeze it. And then I'll be drinking from one. So I've got 2 on the go at any one time. And when I finish one, I'll go to the kitchen and I'll pick the other one out the freezer, fill it up and take it back to my seat, and then put the other one in. So I'm constantly doing that. So that's
an environmental
like I say, it's in the forefront of your mind. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm lazy. I'm not even that thing. Big jug, fill it with water. Second step that I tell my clients before I even go into diet with them is the NEAT. We can do a full thing on NEAT, but basically open your daily activity. Stuff that isn't planned as exercise, and this is where step count becomes so useful. I was going to say,
do you want to just explain? Do you want to just explain NEAT? Like, obviously, is you know, not a term that the beginner might necessarily know.
Of course. So NEAT is your non-exercise attributed thermogenesis. So I knew I would knock it up. Put us on the spot. Basically, it's the calories burned, which isn't attributed to exercise, and it's everything from your body's processes to just going out on a walk and about and that. Your body will burn calories at rest, at sitting watching telly. So on average, I would say on a day, pottering around the house, I'll click 5,000 steps easy. Mm-hmm. I always tell my clients, aim for 10,000 steps. This is for the people who are sedentary, it's for people who don't move around. If I've got like a nurse who is on her feet for most of the day, I'll have a look. I'll say, like, if you've got a step counter, blah, 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 let's have a look at what your average is over the past 7 days. And I would add 5,000 onto that. 5,000 steps, like as soon as you say 5,000, 10,000, 5,000 sounds like a lot. Yeah. But 5,000 is pretty much what you're adding on to your daily activity. I would say the majority of people do about 4,000 to 6,000 on average in their daily life. Yeah. And 5,000 steps on top of what you're already doing sounds like a lot. It's a 40-minute walk. If it was a consecutive thing, that is it. A walk, 40-minute walk, 20 minutes to the shop, 20 minutes back. Massive things. Park at the back of the what's an English word for? I always say parking lot and I'll get called out for it.
Do you mean a car park, mate?
Car park, that's it. This guy's telling the fitness advice and he doesn't even know what a car park is. Park at the back of the car park and walk to your destination, especially if it's the gym. Do not circle the car park looking for the front space to go walk on the treadmill. That is the biggest pet peeve of mine. Well, it's not like.
I like it. I'm going to do that next time.
Someone's just commented saying not for Jill in the chat. So with my clients with the GDC farm, I've just run a 4-week challenge on step count. And it got really, really violent. It was mid-afternoon and someone boasted that they were at 20,000 steps. So Jill, who had been the leader for days, went and smashed 50,000 in a day. 50,000 steps in a day. She was pacing her house backwards and forwards for 3 hours. Like, don't do that. That's not achievable. A brisk 40-minute walk you do every day, where you couldn't do that. You couldn't do a treadmill, 40-minute sprint on the treadmill every day because you get shin splints, blisters, and if you've got fat thighs like me, you get chafing. Hell, I got chafing from walking to the park yesterday.
I think small changes is basically what you're saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like add 100%. In a little bit here and there and don't look to kill yourself in the first 2 weeks. But this, I don't know, you know, how many of the people who are listening to last week's episode where we talked about we talked about, I forgot what I was going to say now, instead of like going to the gym and smashing it because you're motivated, don't necessarily like rely on the motivation, because when you're first starting out, you go and you buy yourself some new leggings, or you buy yourself a new gym, protein shaker or whatever, and you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym for 3 hours a day and all this. It's like, right, okay, your heart's in the right place, but you're actually causing yourself more issues down the line. What you're better off doing is actually starting with some small things, like upping your water intake, like upping your step count, and like adding in small things that will become a habit, rather than I went to the gym every day for 2 weeks and burned this and burned that, and these 6-week transformations. It's like, right, are you going to work out like that every day? Probably not. Nor should you, to be fair, but like, that's not useful in the long term. I think basically if you're a beginner, you want to ask yourself, do I want some short-term results that are going to go away again, or do I want to create some long-term results that I'm happy to wait for?
Yeah,
and the answer should always be the
say that all the time. Come back to that mentality all the time.
Unless it's for a specific reason. If you're looking to cut some weight for a physical activity, if you were entering a competition, you need to be below a certain weight. Fine, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you're going on a holiday and you want to drop a couple of dress sizes, fine, no issue with that. But call it what it is. Do you know what I mean? If you're looking to be healthier, forget timescales. Literally, forget it. Don't even think about it.
100%. So that all goes down to like not doing too much straight away. When I first started as a PT, I was like hell-bent on all the stuff that I knew and results that had worked for me. And I was bombarding my clients in the early days with stuff like, here's your calorie count, hit these macros, like trying to educate them in one big thing. And it becomes a chore. So you've got a calorie target, you've got a step target, you've got a water target, and people
got your protein target.
Your protein target, you've got your weights to lift, you've got, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it just becomes overwhelming, where you could literally drink water, walk. The two main things. And too many people put too much focus on, don't get us wrong, diet's massive, but too many people put focus on the gym side of things. They overestimate the energy expenditure from the gym and underestimate the calories in, where they could do massive differences with them two tips alone.
Yeah. I read I heard a quote somewhere, I can't for the life of us remember where it was. And somebody said, we as human beings, we overestimate how much we can achieve in the short term and underestimate how much we can achieve in the long term. I think that's very, very applicable to beginners starting out. Is you look at short-term economics, short-term goals, short-term, whatever, and you aim for it. And then even if you hit it, you can't stay that motivated. You just can't. It's just not possible. So forget short-term, unless it's for a reason, like we've said, but forget short-term, focus on the long-term, and then just map everything you're doing towards it.
Exactly.
And if that means making small changes at first to kind of dip your toe in the water so that you don't become overwhelmed, great.
Exactly. 100%. And that goes like both ways. If you lost weight with a drastic diet very quick, it's going to come back. And if you gain weight, like gain muscle very quick, it's not going to be the natural things. If you do it naturally, you're going to cause injury. You're going to cause injury because the ligaments grow slower than the muscle. So sooner or later, you're just throwing weights out that you haven't gradually came across with getting there. You're going to end up injured. And the other thing is, of course, if you use performance enhancers, you can't stay on them for life, and that goes straight away, as well as the health risks that come with that.
All right, so we're drinking more water and we're moving more. What's next for the beginner?
The next big thing is, what is the best workout, exercise, yaka for losing weight? And this goes down to what these two things are. These two small changes that we've already mentioned is about making adherable changes, stuff you can stick to. So there is no good thing, no good workout for that one person. So if I told someone to do, if I assigned someone to go to the gym and lift weights 3 times a week, but they didn't like doing weights, or I told them to do HIIT classes 2 times a week, boot camp classes, blah, 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 martial arts, whatever I assign to somebody, if it's something they're not enjoying, they're not going to adhere to it. They're going to go, right, I've got this to do the day, and they're not going to get through it.
Becomes a chore, like you said.
The best thing for burning weight and burning calories is something you're going to stick to, something you're going to do. Be it CrossFit, be it anything you can. get in. It's time to go do this, or I enjoyed that. Not something that is a chore.
We mentioned last week, didn't we, about building momentum. And I think when it's something that you don't enjoy, you just, like you say, it becomes a bit of a chore. You don't really look forward to it. You're kind of ticking a box to say, yes, I've done it. And even if you do it, let's say, you've prescribed somebody, go and do this, whatever it is. Off they go and do it. Are they putting in 100% effort? Doubt it.
No.
Doubt it. Whereas if you actually find something that you enjoy, not only will you want to do it, so you're more likely to do it, you're more likely to put some extra effort into it, you're more likely to try and get better at it. And then that's just better for everybody, in every way. And it might lead to other things that you never even knew you would enjoy, which just leads to a happier life in general. And the whole point of enjoying the journey, like we said last week, is to actually enjoy getting fitter, not just the results that come with it. And once you can stop focusing on the results, then you're actually going to get better results, ironically. And the easiest way to do that is to, like you say, find something you actually would do, even if it wasn't good for you. I think that's the secret. Like, I would play football even if it was bad for us, because I like doing it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I wouldn't go and do yoga if it wasn't good for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine, but I don't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? So
I'll just do yoga because it's an excuse to wear spandex. That being said, I will go with my preferred belief pattern and what gets me and my clients results from not what's the best, but in terms of body composition, without going too deep into it, I would always recommend a resistance-based program over a cardio program.
Yeah.
Cardio's got its space, it's got its place, it will burn calories and stuff, but to get your body to change in that toned look that everybody wants, it's resistance all day long.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be 5 days, it just 2-3 times a week. A good program will see you massive results. I don't usually, unless my clients really push for it, and I usually push people down when they inquire about doing 3 days a week. And I'm like, 2 days a week. And if you want to go to the gym, I'll write you another bit of program. Like, I don't believe that they're needed for the majority of the average person.
Yeah.
I can get good results on 2 weeks, two days a week.
If we are, if we're talking specifically about somebody who's not used to working out regularly, or maybe not used to working out regularly at the moment, i.e. they have in the past or whatever, and they're looking to kind of build some momentum. And like I say, you never know what you might learn to love. Everybody who, is now a professional bodybuilder, athlete, etc., they all started off not knowing whether they even enjoyed working out at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Probably when they were kids, but maybe a little bit later in life, you never know. So you might find that somebody comes to you and is in this situation, is a bit overweight, or is very, leads a sedentary lifestyle and is looking to, just get started. Okay, well, there's nothing to say that in 6 months' time you can't change the program. There's nothing to say that in a year's time they're going to say, you know what, I've outgrown this losing a little bit of weight mentality, and now I really want to get into something specific. And then they'll either stay with you to do that, or they'll move on or whatever, and that's fine. But if we're talking specifically to the people who are just starting out, why going back to our original point, why would you be looking to make those improvements so quickly? You didn't put on the weight very, very quickly. There's no need to lose it very, very quickly. And there's no need to put yourself in a position where you're more likely to stop, to go backwards, to regress. If you're working out 3 times a week, it's much easier to stop than if you're only working 2 times a week, because it's not such a hassle. It's not in the way. If you learn to love it, fine, go work out 7 days a week. But if you're looking for the results and that's why you want to work out more, not a smart plan, in my opinion.
And I touched on what you just said there about learning to love it. I touched on it last episode when I was training my wife, and she was like, "Oh, I'll come to the gym." And obviously she's done kickboxing for a canny while. And I'll be like, "Right, this is what we're going to start with on the machines and on the weights and stuff, free weights. We'll do it." And she'll be like, "Right, okay." And like an hour session, hour 15, whatever we're training, she'll be like, "Can we go in the ring now and do some pad work?" And then for like weeks this happened. And then all of a sudden she was pushing something. She was doing chest press.
Mm-hmm.
She was pushing with the dumbbells, and I was like, try these weights. And she was like, I can't do that. And she did them. And then I seen this change. She no longer wanted to do the pad work anymore. She found that she could progress. She got this progression, got her, and being able to say that. So I always, going back to my original point on cardio versus resistance, I like to use it as like a car metaphor. So cardio is like a service, keeps the engine running, keeps you
Yeah.
healthy, keeps the inside, your stamina, your health, that sort of gear. But if you're looking to tone up and look better at that body composition, it's taking your car to the body shop, the resistance work.
Yeah, I think it's a very like illustrative way to kind of tell people the difference, because people can visualize that, and I think that's, like I say, it's helpful. But it obviously depends on exactly what your goals are and exactly what you enjoy. If you really hate lifting weights, and I think to probably touch on, a lot of people in the beginner bracket would say, I don't want to go to the gym, I'm too embarrassed, or I don't really see the point, or it's too expensive, or the gyms are closed right now, or whatever. That's fine. Resistance training doesn't mean picking up a 200 kilo bar. It means putting resistance on your muscles that isn't normally there. So whether that be doing squats and press ups or whatever in the house, that's fine. Heavier the better. So if you can find some weights lying around the house that you can do it with, then great. But not necessarily, depending on your exact body composition and where your starting point is. If you need to start with body weight press ups and body weight squats, and then they're going to make a difference to you, great. And then down the line, you may feel more comfortable entering the gym, and I'd be surprised if you don't.
Calisthenics is huge. I know people who can bench heavy weights and can't do 10 press ups.
Yeah,
it's massive, and I think that's a good thing from this point of view, because my point of view is heavily gym based, personal training, that sort of thing. But obviously, your average fitness is for the average person as well.
Yeah,
you're showing in the house sort of stuff, and it doesn't even need to be weighted. Like you said, it can be any sort of improvement. So the first day you may be able to do 10 squats, the next day 12. This is where your progressive overload's coming, and this is where you're going to get results.
And you'll outgrow that eventually. In terms of I think one of the biggest reasons people give up is because they don't see the results quickly enough. One of the other reasons that people give up is because they will see some results, and then as time passes, they don't see the same level of results. So they might lose. Let's say you're looking to lose, I don't know, 30 pounds as an example. If you lose 6 in the first week, and then 4 in the second week, and then 2, and then 1, and then you put 1 on, of course that's going to demotivate you. Like there's no way it wouldn't, Whereas if you forget the the weight and just focus on, right now, I can do 6 press ups without stopping and 15 squats. Okay, let's aim for 12 and 20. And when you get there, you'll have lost the weight. It might have fluctuated. You might have lost a pound, gained a pound, etc., etc. And that's fine. But you're more likely to still be motivated by it because you're still going towards your goal. And that's the advantage.
That goes with the post that I dropped in yesterday as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it goes that you're more likely to be. That's the benefit of resistance-based goals rather than an arbitrary number on the scale, because that can fluctuate for dozen reasons, probably more.
I think we should touch on that for anybody who is listening. So, when you weigh yourself, the scales will tell you a number for how much your body physically weighs. This can fluctuate for any number of reasons. The time of day, what you ate last night, what you ate that day, your hydration levels, your stress levels, your muscle soreness. For women, the time in your menstrual cycle. There's so many factors. It's such a variable thing. When I very rarely promote using the scales to my clients. When I do, it's only to get that initial the initial weight to
create the calorie maintenance.
To get the calorie target. And I always tell my clients, when you weigh yourself, try and eliminate the variables. So pick a time of the day. So morning's always better before any
before breakfast.
Before breakfast, after you've been to the toilet for business, always use the same scales. So many different scales can give different answers.
On the same surface as well.
On the same surface as well. Don't use carpet or anything, because that changes over time. And again, I always give my clients the choice, because sometimes it's a really thin line. The scales can be an accountability tool for people. Like, I am going to go on the scales to do this on Friday, and that keeps me tied in. But there's also shit. I've put on a pound. I've stayed the same. And if you've grafted that week,
Yeah.
Your diet's been perfect, and you see that
It's a
scales.
proper gut punch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I weighed myself last Wednesday and I'd lost 4 pounds, and then I weighed myself this Wednesday and it was the same as last week. And I know this, and even I was
Yeah.
like, oh damn. But it doesn't matter. My body's looking
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It's
I seen
unreal.
your post on social, where you were basically saying like these two pictures are the same weight side by side and look completely different, you know. And there's a million and one of those out there as well. You know?
She sent me them photos and said, I'm raging because I'm back at the weight when I'm started at. And I was like, you sent me that photo, and there's your start photo, and there's your current photo. How can you be angry? And it's the scales tying her in.
Yeah. It's human nature.
Step. It is human nature. But some people will use it and they'll use the steps. And this is why I say the scales, and they'll be like, oh, I've been good. And that can go in a direction of, well, fuck it, it's not working.
Yeah.
And they get completely, or, oh, well, binge eat.
Yeah.
Or starve eating disorder.
Yeah. Neither of which are good. Yeah.
And that's why these weigh-in clubs are no good.
Yeah.
Half of them are in mid-afternoon or night times. And we're saying stress can affect you. In fact, the stress can affect the reading on the scales. I'd be stressed if I was stood with 18 other people standing waiting to say if I lost weight. Damn.
I think I might. I think you've just given us a good idea for a video. I'm gonna weigh myself like every hour or something for like 3 days in a row just to see how much it's like this. You know.
It doesn't even have to be every hour. Every other day will give you a thing.
Yeah,
Me and one of my clients, Kev, were on about
arbitrary.
Yeah. Like he says he was in X weight, and he can weigh that on a night time and then wake up in the morning and weigh like 6 pounds different. And it's not a necessary thing. But anybody who's listening and they're wondering what should they use instead of the scales, the single most important thing I would say is progress photos. One, wearing as minimal as possible. Obviously, it's not ideal to be having nude photos on your phone or whatever you're doing with them.
Yeah.
But like some shorts, for the women, like shorts and bra, but like not
anything
like
you're
shorts,
comfortable with,
something minimal, because all we do on these photos is we zoom straight into the problem bits, the muffin top, the moves on the men, the hips on the women. Step back, get a full body photo, front, side, and back, and you will see changes because you can't spot reduced body fat. It's going to go from other places before it goes from where you want it. And I learned that the hard way with my client who was taking selfies in the mirror. I was like, do us a favor, take a step back, get someone else to take the photo, and they looked completely different. And I was like, damn, I've missed loads of months of their publicity off that. Like, But progress photos is a must, and I know how difficult it is as a beginner when you absolutely despise what you look like and you hate it and you want to do something.
You'll regret it if you don't.
Keep them private. Yeah, I do. I've got one photo, and it's me and Arnie in Magaluf looking like a bad rap duo. And I've got bleached hair, but I am one big-ass whale. I don't like my photo taken anyway, but I never took them progress photos. And I remember a guy on bodybuilding.com where I started out all this stuff telling me, get these photos taken. And I was like, nah, it's good, mate. It's good, mate. And he was like, do them. And I was like, right, fine. And I lied and said I had done them. And I regret it so much now. Like,
you know what I love? I think I know which exact photo you're talking about of you and Arnie.
Well, proper like flipping up with like a West Side Surfer or something. It's like the worst thing ever.
It's like the only thing I remember from that holiday, to be honest. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day.
It is. So progress photos.
Yeah.
Measurements, measure your body. Like especially if you're doing resistance work and you think you look the same, if that bicep's an inch bigger, you're going to feel real good, motivated. But again, the chest, the stomach, these are the things that will show change, which the visual doesn't. Have someone else look at your progress photos as well, somebody you trust, because
somebody who will be honest with you.
Yeah, because we're so self-critical. I have clients going, I look the same, and I'm marking out on MS Paint and stuff, and I'm like, are you for real?
I like that.
Progress photos, measurements, how your clothes feel. Like, if we're still just talking body composition, how your clothes feel. If you went up a notch on your belt, is your favorite jeans fitting? I had a client who, she came to me and she was like, I had to wear jeans for work and I hated it. And I would come in, I would switch straight to joggers. She said, but the other day I came in from work and I had been sitting for a few hours and I realized I was still wearing my jeans and I was comfortable. I was like, wow, that's me. Hell,
Yeah.
if you can put your bra on better, that obviously not me and you. Well, I do
Yeah.
but if you can put your bra on better, it's all progress.
But that's such an underrated part. We talked last week about, like, you know, you feel when you've been exercising, when you've been losing weight, whatever, you feel more confident, you feel this, you feel that. That's everyone's looking for. I want to lose X pounds. Why not? I want to be happier. Like, surely that's got to be more valuable than I weigh, you know, whatever. Do you even know what you weigh? Like, I barely even know what you know what I mean? It's just not something that affects your life.
Like I say, the only people who need to know how much they weigh is sport athletes who need to be in a state. Hell, I went through 30 years of kickboxing, not knowing what weight I was. I just showed up at whatever weight and fought. And I was the chubby little kid, 85 kilos, 90 kilos with all the big giants. Like, I'm going to smash his teeth in. Like, the scales don't matter. The scales don't matter at all.
I think it's
the reason. The lifestyle things as well, like the improvements. Being able to get down on the floor, mobility, to be able to play with the kids a bit better, being able to pick your kids up. I have one client who she was like, I used to struggle at work when I think it was like the milk came in. When the milk came in, I used to struggle at work and I hated it because I had to unload the cage. And she was like, and now I was like putting stuff up. And I had one the other day. She was able to bring the Hoover down the stairs, and that's an achievement.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
She used to struggle bringing the Hoover up and down the stairs, carrying it in one arm. That's an improvement. It made her life better. Her husband turned around and said, "Oh, are you going to manage this, carrying something up to the bedroom? Can't get dark there." And he was like, "I know you lift, but can you manage this?" And he was totally impressed that she could. Like, boom. There you go.
Picked him up and
just threw him up the stairs and then took the roof off and put it in through the roof.
It's such an underrated thing, because those are the bits that actually matter. You know, I wish that's the one thing I wish, like, you could just give people, is that belief of, like, forget the things that I read a quote, Gary Vee, I think it is, who said it, 99% of things don't matter. Like, that has never been a truer statement than that. Think of all the things that you think about. None of it matters except a couple of key bits, you know? And when it comes to beginners, when it comes to weight loss, it must be, I can't even remember what it was like to be at that point where I just didn't know shit about weight loss, weight gain, muscle, anything, right? It must be overwhelming, especially now. You think back, like, you know, you got into martial arts, what, 25, 30 years ago? I got into, you know, even teaching gym stuff over 10 years ago. Interested in it much longer. There was no Instagram then. Like, there was no Instagram then. Where did you go? You mentioned last week you had to look at magazines for, like, tips. You know, it must be overwhelming for people who are just starting out, and that's why I say the things I say on my social media platform. That's why you talk the way you do to your clients. That's why this podcast exists, because 99% of the things that you look at on social media relating to fitness don't matter. Not on as important. Do not matter. Drink some water. Move a little bit more, and basically what we're saying with progress photos, measurements, etc., is know where you're starting and know where you're going.
Yeah,
and that's it. And where you're going can change,
went through. Sorry,
but as long as you're going in the right direction, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. We've just went through a load of things there from obviously different people, in that, like, easy to spot achievements and things to see that are going in the right direction.
Yeah,
but we will dismiss these so much quicker than the negatives. I'm not losing weight. I look the same. I'm not getting stronger, blah, blah, blah. All these things will tell with this. These will tell with that.
Yeah.
There is a proper thing for it. And it's like, it's where the brain will just argue against you. Like, if I said to you, like, long distance relationships don't work, your mind would automatically go, but Tommy and Sue did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll look for the things, and that's the same. It's the reverse on there.
Yeah. It's a bit like, so at work at the minute, we have a rule where, because obviously we're in lockdown, we have a rule where you must shop alone unless you're with children, unless you've got your kids with you, right? And obviously that causes a little bit of a problem for some people because it's an inconvenience, and we're not saying it isn't, you know, but 9 out of 10 people will be like, all right, okay, fine. And they'll come in. And then every once in a while, someone will kick off and they're like, well, what do you mean? Oh, this is fucking ridiculous. And that's the ones you remember, because that's the ones that's unusual. And we've got a feedback survey where, like, customers who bought stuff can give a little bit of feedback anonymously, you know, and, like, almost every comment is like, they've got someone on the door, they're keeping us safe, it's fantastic, felt dead safe in the shop. And then nobody even mentions the fact that all of these people appreciate that we are making life difficult for ourselves by putting ourselves in that situation and having to have those sort of conversations. But we don't even take that into account. It's you only care about the ones that pissed you off, the ones that had a go, the ones that were unreasonable. And that's, like I say, it's just human nature, and it'll be the same with everything. And it's the same with, especially when you're looking at yourself from a progress point of view. Like you said before, it's very easy to spot progress in other people, but it's very difficult to spot it in yourself. And
100%,
I think that's a wider problem, really, when people just don't, most people, because obviously some people are, egotistical, but most people aren't, and most people will downplay their own achievements because they don't want to be seen as egotistical, which is great. No one wants to be seen as like, oh, look at me. But like, don't forget to like pat yourself on the back when you've done something that is worth patting yourself on the back for, essentially.
100%, 100%. I was going to touch on something that you had said then. I totally slipped us when you.
I said a lot of shit there, so
you did. So just like some general things that can help people like build good habits. And I'm going to go back to the environment. Like, don't get us wrong, I'm very, very about if it fits your macros, being able to eat whatever you want. But if you know your weakness is Jaffa cakes, stop buying Jaffa cakes. But
that's a good point.
If that's going to make life a chore for you, reduce the amount you're going to have. Hell, if I have toast, I can high five myself at 4 slices because I didn't eat 12. But if I'm usually buttering 2 slices of toast while another 2 are cooking, I literally got a 4-slice toast out to reduce the time I had to wait for more toast because I'm not much of a pig for toast.
Toast is meant to be fair. Like.
Toast is life. Hungry, have toast, need a stack, toast.
But, we talk about, let's just assume we're talking about losing weight, which not everybody, and there's a question I got on social media this week, which I wanted to kind of touch on, which I'm sure we'll go into in a little bit. Let's just assume we're talking to people who are looking to lose weight. Okay. When you get to a stage, not necessarily straight off the bat, where you want to start looking at calories in versus calories out, which is basically what it all boils down to, is really, if you're that way inclined, really analyze it then. If you know, well, I like toast, okay, which type of bread has the least calories then? And you can get really
people
anal about
will
stuff.
automatically diet for brown bread, but they're not. Brown bread's got more fiber. That's where that again is misinformation. Brown bread's better for you. No, it's not.
Absolutely.
They're about 4 calories difference, but brown bread's got more fiber in. But again,
you can go too far, and you don't want to be in that stage where it takes you an hour to have your breakfast because you've been too busy researching. But like, if you like 2 products and one of them is better for you, what? I don't understand how that's not a difficult decision. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Not necessarily all the time. Back to the 80-20 rule from last week. Not necessarily all the time, but as a rule, yeah, great, do that. Do you know what I mean? Even small, we're talking small changes can add up. Light butter and semi-skimmed milk instead of blue milk or whatever. Do you know what I mean? All those small things will make a difference. If you can add in 7 different habits that make a small difference, very, very almost indiscernible difference, add them up and do them all the time, and they have no negative impact on your life, like green milk instead of blue milk, then why would you not do those? Because they will make a difference. They might not make much, but if it's not going to negatively impact your life, great. And I think we could probably spend another few hours talking about calories in versus calories out, which I guess we're going to do another day.
Definitely, that's another episode, I thought.
I think so, yeah.
But we've mentioned habits a lot of time, and there's in that in James Clear Atomic Habits book, there was a great thing, and it's a very anal thing to do, but it could break a lot of cycles for people where bad habits have just become something you're not recognizing. And that is get a pen and paper and write your day out for a week. The same as what you would do with a food diary with a client. But write your day out, got up, went to the toilet, blah, blah, blah. And then sit at the end of the day and just put a plus, negative, or an equal sign. Plus if it was a good habit, negative if it was negative, if it was something that could not essentially a bad habit, but something that isn't necessarily needing to be done. You know what I mean? And equal if it's just like obviously going to the toilet would be equal. It would be a neutral, like it's an equals.
I know what you mean.
Obviously, there's a plus that you didn't piddle the bed. But
I know what you mean.
But breaking that spotting bad habits is often easier than creating new habits, eliminating the bad habits.
That's an interesting way to put that, yeah.
Every week my lass kicks off at me because she's like, you wrote on the shopping list bananas. I buy you bananas every week, and they go bad, and they put them in the bin. I'm like, because it's like 4.6 seconds where it's ready to eat, and then it just gets like that. too early or dead. But the environment I had set for myself and that for the bananas wasn't right. I had them on top of the oven, on top of the microwave, and they were out of sight. Like, because the microwave led into the cabinet and I couldn't see. So all I've done is to simply change that is I've moved the bananas onto my desk, my work desk, and now I'm eating bananas every day where I wasn't. I was binning bananas. And that simple habit that simple change in environment created a new habit for us.
Yeah. I read something or I heard something, or I can't remember who it was and what exactly they were talking about, but
wine.
I think it was to do with it was something to do with making your bed or something. And they were saying there's a lot of things like that, like moving the bananas, for example, or making your bed or whatever, that just don't seem like worth it. It's like, that's beneath me. Like, that's not going to make any difference. Therefore, I'm not going to do it. I bet you if you wrote down everything you think about, that you think that, because everybody does, I do, write down all the things that could make a tiny, tiny, tiny difference, but are kind of just pointless. Write them all down, do them all, and see how much of a difference it is. Do you know what I mean?
But like again,
moving
that's
the bananas,
creating habits and environment.
You know what I mean?
Like, if you get up in the morning and you make your bed, you're more inclined to have a cleaner bedroom, more inclined to have a cleaner house. If you've just got a stuffed up blanket, you're more inclined to just throw clothes around on the bedroom. And if my wife's watching this now, she's like, get to the side of your bed and pick up the 4 pairs of socks that's there, the 2 vest tops and everything else that you've worn the day, and you've just left store across the thing.
You're going to have to take a day off tomorrow, like, to get all these habits put in place. Like that. No, but obviously, we're joking around about it.
You've got a beer at the side of that camera as well, and you're not showing anybody that.
Yeah, we're joking around about it, but it's not, I suppose it's not feeling like something is beneath you.
Yeah, but that goes back to this water and step count. Like, people are going, what? Drinking water? Like, I don't do that already.
Like, it's that easy,
Walk around and, like, I don't do that already. Like, it's that easy to increase me water and increase me steps and see some dramatic results in a short time.
Yeah, we're not talking about people becoming bodybuilders. We're not talking about, like, people losing 3 stone in a week. We're talking about creating momentum. If you drink 2 to 4 liters of water a day, if you add 5,000 steps to your normal step count, if you start making smarter choices about the environment that you surround yourself in, the people you follow on Instagram, etc., you are more likely to do other things like stick to a workout plan, stick to a diet plan, and all the things that we're going to cover in later episodes. Today, we're talking, how do you get started? Don't worry about doing 17 things. Do 3 things and do them all the time, or most of the time. And that's how it's done.
One thing as well about going shopping, like, there's always that thing about don't go shopping hungry, because you'll buy junk
and you'll be skinned.
We're in a really good time right now to get better results out your shopping. Write a shopping list, order it online. Online, you haven't got the distraction of marketing. Like, in supermarkets, they purposely put stuff at the end of the aisle or in an eye-level thing for you to buy. And you've also already picked up habits of picking up them Jaffa cakes. You don't get that online unless it's a customer's also bought. You literally search for and add what you got.
To be fair,
that's an easy little hack.
Yeah, to be fair, we do click and collect shopping online. And Asda have got a thing where when you go to your checkout, it says, you've bought these in the past, do you want to add them today? Which is very, very sneaky. And it's, hey, they're in to make money, don't get us wrong.
Exactly.
But it's there for a reason. It's there for a reason. And the reason is because they know you're going to do it. And it's about putting yourself in a position to make smarter choices. And buy the Jaffa cakes. That's fine. But, it is going to slow your progress, or it is going to have an effect somewhere along the line. I don't know about you, but I got a couple of questions, anonymous questions, and whatnot on social media this week. So I guess we should probably finish with going through those.
Hell yeah! And while we're going through them, if anybody in the chat has got a question that's burning desire now, or they want to ask a question, pop it in the chat, and while Lee's talking, I'll have a look.
Yeah. Or even if it's kind of for next week, if it's going to be a case of like, can you discuss this in more detail? Because obviously we don't want to be here all night. But yeah, any questions that you've got that you think we should discuss in a lot of detail, then by all means pop them in there. And obviously we can decide reading them whether it's appropriate to go through it now or later.
Yeah, of course. So what did you get?
So first question is, what is a realistic goal for someone starting out, so this beginner stage, who isn't looking to lose weight? So maybe someone who is comfortable with the way they look, but wants to be healthier or whatever, what would you kind of, as a PT, if someone came to you and said, look, I'm pretty happy with where I am, but I want to get into this because I know it's good for us. What would you suggest?
Well, there's so many, isn't there?
A goal, a realistic goal, you know?
It's very dependable on the person though, really, isn't it? Goals like, do you want to be faster? Do you want to like beat your time on the treadmill or on a sprint? Hell, if I took it to the martial arts, do you want to like jump higher, more power? Obviously, if that body composition is always like usually where I go to. Transformations is where I work in. And I hate the word transformations because it becomes 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
though,
I like to work on that, but like a clothes fitting better and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it depends what the person's wanting out of it.
Well, I think
healthier.
The question. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say like healthier, like just energy levels. Like, are you feeling better week by week? Are you able to walk the kids to school without being out of breath? Get the top of the stairs without being out of breath? And get the top of the stairs without being out of breath sounds like it's like a derogatory.
It sounds like it's beneath you. Yeah,
absolutely. It's not. Like loads of people are out of breath getting upstairs.
I think the thing that I thought of when I read that question was, there's not enough information there in that to give an exact answer, obviously. But it's a bit like when I used to be a salesman. People would come in. I used to sell kitchens, for those who don't know, and people would come in and say, I want a new kitchen. And I didn't just go, okay, yeah, no problem. How big's your room? There's a lot of further questions to get you to where that person wants to be. I could design a beautiful kitchen for them. Some people might disagree, but it's a nice kitchen, but they may not like it. Why? Well, it's not what I want. Well, you haven't told me what you want. But whose fault is that? That's my fault. It's on me. I'm the one who's trying to sell them something. So you've got to ask a bunch of questions. So what I would say to that person who's saying, what's a realistic goal? Okay, what kind of thing do you have in mind? Do you want a six-pack? Do you want to be able to do something you can't currently do? Do you want to be able to enjoy something? Do you want to be so much better at something that it becomes enjoyable? Like when I play football, I'm generally angry because I'm not very good at it. So if someone asked me that, I'd be like, well, I want to be better so that I enjoy it, you know? So I think going back to what you're saying is there's a bunch, and don't be disheartened. Like the whole fitness industry is not just lose weight or gain muscle. There's a lot of reading between the lines. There's a lot there to aim for.
Oh, if it was somebody
if
asking,
you know what it is,
as a beginner, what is the ideal weight loss? What am I looking for weight loss wise? And I will use the scales as an example here, but 1 pound a week.
Yeah.
So many people say they need 100%. To lose a stone. Like, no, you don't. Lose a pound every week and the results will come. Like losing that pound will get you to that stone. But the other thing I would say to them is, and I said it to Jordan, who PTs at the same gym as me. We were cracking on with one of his clients and she said, what did she say? She said that she needed to get to 9 stone. She's like, I need to get to 9 stone. And he was like, you don't. And like, we're drilling the thing in that. And I says, what's going to change at 9 stone for you?
Well, no one can answer that question unless they're.
I'm going to tell you right now, at 9 stone, if you don't gain muscle, you're going to look the same. Your clothes might hang off you, but your body's going to look the same. You're not going to. There's nothing going to change dramatically when you lose that weight.
Yeah. So obviously, without knowing how heavy that person was when they said that, right? Let's just assume they were 10 stone or more, for example, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between 9 stone and 9 stone 3? Nothing. There's just no difference. There just isn't,
Exactly.
If you're 9
Go
stone
back to my
6,
photo. What's the difference between 66 kilo and 66 kilo?
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's just no difference.
Body change.
So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Did you get any questions, did you say?
I don't believe I did. I kept putting stuff up.
So I've got another one that someone's just
I got the one off Phil, but we went through that in the original episode because he sent us on the day.
Yeah, someone's just texted me an anonymous question. So it says here, someone who wants PT work, i.e. wants to work with you, but works 5 days a week, i.e. can't be available when you are, especially at the minute with the gyms, and is uncomfortable in groups and home workouts. Where to start? I think, if I can just touch on that for a second, I think it depends. When you say someone who wants PT work, I think that sounds to me like you want the accountability of PT work, not the physical work. Because if you've said, I don't like working out in a group, or I don't like working out in at home, I don't feel motivated at home, it's because you're not accountable to yourself. And don't put too much pressure on yourself because hardly anybody is. It's a very, very difficult thing. I know it. I came and worked with you a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago now, for two reasons. One, because I thought it would be good content for Instagram. And two, because I will work harder outside of my home. And when the gyms are closed or you don't feel comfortable in the gym or whatever, is you just don't have that accountability to yourself. Yeah. And so a lot of people don't like home workouts for that.
Well,
so,
I've been saying that, like, the accountability side of things. I know all the stuff that I don't know. That sounded really bad. I know what I should be doing.
Yeah.
But I'll go in the gym or I'll put the gym off because I've been knackered because I've done clients and I'm like, I can come tomorrow. I've got access to the gym 24/7. And when I'm there, I'll go through it. I'll deck on. I'll look at my phone and that. And sometimes I'm thinking, you know what it is? I need to come out of this environment of my own gym because my own gym, not my own gym, but the gym I work at is starting to feel a lot like work. It's starting to feel a lot like home. Yeah. And I'm like, I might give Kev, the PT down in there, who's got the gym in his back garden, I might give Kev a shout and say, right, I want you to train me 2 times a week.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. Like, and then I'm accountable that I want to go train. I'm paying for it and I don't want to let him down. And also I'm not going to let my ego go, you cannot lift it anymore. That's something. Yeah. Can you repeat the question? Because I've actually got another spin on that, but I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Okay, so it specifically says someone who wants PT work but works 5 days and is uncomfortable in groups and home workouts. Where to start?
Right. So obviously, in the grand scheme of things, is most personal trainers work stupid o'clock in the morning till stupid o'clock at night. I'm the exception, and not in a good way. I'm the exception because I work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday because I've got martial arts and classes to teach on a night time. And my weekends, I've got young kids and family. I want to be with them. Yeah. The first answer I would be, find a PT who can meet your needs. There is plenty of PTs out there who, anytime I get a message and they say to me, I finished work at 5:30, I'll not be able to get there till 6. I'm like, here is the details of Jordan. He works in the gym he works in the same gym as me. He doesn't work with me, but I know what he's about and he's a good personal trainer.
And you're comfortable recommending
somebody else. Yeah. I will, if I can't teach somebody, and if somebody came to us and said, I want to prep for a bodybuilding show, I would do the exact same thing. I'd be like, that's not me. This person over here is better for you. But on the other side of things is, from a more, if it was me they wanted to work with, they felt comfortable with me, they had seen the results I've gotten, and they're like, no, I want to work with him, but he can't do the time. I do online coaching as well. Yeah. So I've got a custom built app, which I build the routines in, and it literally, you start your workout, and if it's a resistance-based workout, it'll say like lat pull down, 3 sets, enter the kilos, enter the weight you've done. There's video and voiceover to look at if you're going, I don't know how to do that, with all the cues and prompts on there. I've just took on an online client there who's an ex-footballer, and he messages on Friday night, and he's got his own home gym, and he's like, I've been doing your workouts for like a week and a half now or whatever, and it's the first time in 12 years I've actually enjoyed training. And he's done loads of programs that he's downloaded and stuff. He's done the USN Body Transformation Challenge, like where it is, but he said, the program you created is exactly what I needed. And it's the first time since retiring from football 12 years ago that I'm enjoying training and I'm actually looking forward to it. He said something. Awesome. I posted it on my story because I was absolutely buzzing with it. He was like, usually I go in and get it done and then just leave. He says, thoroughly liking it. Then he done legs on Friday, and Texas just saying he didn't like it. Like, he didn't like legs at all. If there's one thing I love training people with, it's legs, because I just love destroying legs.
I think ultimately the answer
he's actually in the chat there now. It's just dropped. I love the app, and there you go. So if there is anybody watching, get in touch with us, and I can set you up on my app. The app will integrate with MyFitnessPal, so I can help you with your calories, and I'll do your calorie count with that. It integrates with Fitbit for your step count. You can manually put it in if you use something else. I use Garmin, so it's a bit of kick in the teeth that Garmin doesn't work with it. You can upload your progress photos on there, which I found really useful for people, because 1, it actually sets a grid for where they want to be. And 2, you haven't got that fear when you show someone a picture, like you're going to swipe to the left and there's going to be you and all your glory hanging out. So that was a bit of a shameless self-plug, but I do online coaching for people.
I think online coaching is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, because I think a lot of people...
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I think 90% plus of people would say, if they really thought about it, would say the reason they want a PT or have a PT or have used PTs or whatever is the mental side of things, not necessarily, I don't know how to do that exercise. Do you know what I mean? It's the accountability, and we could talk forever about accountability and mindset and all that, and I'm sure we will in future episodes, etc. But to answer the question in a shorter version, is find someone who you will be accountable to, because most people can't be accountable to themselves, especially when they're just starting out.
Yeah, and don't feel bad moving trainers. Like I've had clients come to me from another trainer, and I've had clients go, it's no point spending money to someone who doesn't gel with you.
It's almost never personal, surely. Like,
no, it's not. It's business at the end of the day. Like, it goes into the martial arts world. I've went to train with people who do the same style as me and not had that connection. Their teaching methods or teaching style, more or less, didn't match with me. And there'll be students who've done the same from me. Like, find someone you gel with who their teaching style, what they're doing with you works. And if not, just say, this doesn't work for me. All the best. And there we go. If they take offense, like, God, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if you're if the trainer takes offense, like, you can't. Too many. That's a massive problem in the fitness industry. They're too scared to say no. Like, they're not the best for it. You know, like clients taking on injured people, saying they'll fix them and that. I would only do that. I fixed Sean when he had a bad knee because I had a lot of experience with the knee. But then I had a client come and she's like, I'm getting a lot of pain in my back and it's tingling in my fingers. I sent her to Ross Gladwin, sports injury. He fixed her up, and then we communicated together. And he was like, "There's weaknesses here and here that I would never been able to spot because I've got diagnostic treatment.
That's not your specialty."
Like, working like this, and she's absolutely buzzing that she's got these two professionals working to build her up, and then she goes to him for a couple of weeks.
Like, what is that? That's just lack of ego. That's just you being comfortable with what you do, what you know, and that's. You know, I've never met this guy you're talking about, but I'm sure he's the same. He'll have a lack of ego in that he's comfortable doing what he does and he's comfortable passing things over. So yeah, I think ultimately try to become accountable to yourself, because that is going to be beneficial in lots of ways, i.e. not going over your calories, etc., etc. But yeah, find somebody who you'll be accountable to.
I need to actually text Ross on, because I said we're going to have him as the first. We're going to try and have him as our first guest on here.
Yeah, we're going to shake it up in a few weeks' time. Did we decide on a topic for next week while we're wrapping things up this evening?
Well, I had briefly said diets, like going to go into the different types of diets. Like, I obviously did that 8-piece series on the 1 minute fit tips, but obviously trying to get it all into 1 minute.
Yeah.
With
well, I think if you were to, we're talking about, where to start today, that calorie counting in whatever aspect you want to talk about is definitely top 5 things to think about when you're talking about where to start. But I think it's too big to have integrated into today.
100%.
So
like,
I think
it goes in doing too much too soon.
Yeah.
But you can't outrun the diet. The diet is the 95% of it. So I think it would be good to follow up with how to get started, and we'll go into diets, the different type of diets, and our diet belief.
Yeah. So in terms of today, hopefully what we've talked about is actually, providing some value to some people. It does sound like, Billy basic stuff, but the reason it's basics is because it's the fundamentals. It's the foundation of everything else being built on it. You can work out 10 hours a day. If you're not doing these things, it's not going to make a difference. Or you're not going to see the compounding effect.
In the first one, like, that was a massive mistake when I started. I was training 2 times a day, every day. And I was going hell for leather in the gym, but sitting on my arse everywhere else because I was absolutely exhausted. So my actual activity level, I thought I was up here, I was down here. And it just doesn't work. If you're too injured, too sore, too exhausted to train, it's not going to work.
Even if it's just subconscious. I found myself
the dietary traps come in. I can eat this because I'm good. And I think we went on, we're digressing again.
We talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to discuss in a lot of detail next week.
100%. Starting out, best intentions, make your environment better, make around you, give yourself that head start. If junk food, like sweets and stuff, is your problem, I'm not going to say eradicate it completely, but remove them, get them out of sight. Drinking water, 2 to 4 liters a day. You can use diluted juice. Don't use soda and pop. The bigger the container, the easier it is to get through, and the easier it is to keep on top of, rather than 500 ml. Sugar's forgot to go fill it up. and 10K steps for the sedentary person. So if you are sitting around all day managing 4,000, 5,000 on average, go for 10,000. If you're active and you're getting 12, 14, 16,000 on average per day, add 5,000 on. Again, 5,000 steps is merely a 40-minute brisk walk.
Again, we're talking about this in the context of looking to lose weight, looking to be more active in your general life. If you're looking to build muscle straight off the bat, that's different. You know, like steps aren't as important, etc. And obviously we can cover that. But I would say, you know, what percentage of people looking to start out are looking to lose weight? It's probably a vast percentage rather than looking to lose muscle. So this isn't like a one size fits all. This is for the average person, I guess. The
ordinary person, The ordinary view for the ordinary people. If you've got diet questions, diet worries, you want to ask anything, blast it through to either my page, JDC Fitness, or Gaz JDC, the Ordinary View page, or over to Hunter at Average Fitness, through Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want. Send the messages through. We won't point out and say who it is. We'll go through it for you, rather than you sitting going, waiting for that episode and they didn't touch on it, because there's going to be stuff we'll miss. Hell, there was stuff written down that I've wrote down I wanted to go through the day and totally forgot because we just got on a tangent.
Well, we'll do it in episode 102 instead of number 2.
Exactly. But again, thanks very much. I think we've averaged it around about 14 viewers a day, so that was good on Facebook. You know what I mean? It's getting that news out there, guys. If you like and share it, please, because obviously we're in a captive audience. It only pushes to the people who follow the page. So like, share it, get it out there.
Anybody you think would find any value from this stuff. And again, people may well find it like, I don't want to send this to my pal because they might find it insulting that I'm saying, you know, watch this because they tell you to drink more water. It does sound, I understand that mentality, but if somebody has discussed something with you, they're just like on this topic, they've discussed it for a reason. You know, they're looking to better themselves, and they won't take it personally when you reach out to them or say you've seen it or whatever. So share away.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up and we'll aim for either 5 or 6 o'clock next week.
Yeah. What do you know what shift you're on?
I don't. I'll have a look.
Right. Well, we'll get it out there. You're looking at about 5 or 6 o'clock on next Sunday. We'll keep everybody posted. Again, we'll be available over the next few days on all the other podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. So like and subscribe on there. Even if you're not going to listen to it, the subscribers, because you've already watched here, the subscribers will push up to get to other people. And we just want to help as many people as we can. We're not monetizing this. We're not trying to get money from this. So it's just to try and help as many people as we can.
Yep.
That we're done?
All right, cool.
Can I finish with the 2 claps and a Ric Flair?
Woo! See you later.
Send it to the internet. Catch you in a bit.
Take it easy, bye.